Is Halftime the only song that mentions your name?
Hell, I don't know. I just know this song made the police come after me, and I didn't like the simple fact of it. I didn't give nobody permission to say nothing about me in no song.
Why do you believe that the song made police started coming after you?
Because that's what they said. They said it. That's what the investigator told me.
What did the investigators tell you?
I don't know.
So is it your testimony that the investigator said, hey, because your name is in the song, we're now coming after you?
What I do, go to the grave with me. You hear me?
Okay. Well, yesterday you did disclose that you and Threat shot up Rich Homie Quan's barbershop.
Yeah, you got me frustrated, and I ain't mean to say that.
Okay. Do you recall asking the judge if you could say it?
I was frustrated.
Okay. Now, they asked you, why would Thug be nervous if he had nothing to do with anything? And your response is, y'all keep saying my name. They saying me and Thug. That's what I keep saying, but I had no parts in it. Are you talking about the fact that you had no parts in killing Nut?
I don't recall nothing I said to no police.
Now, isn't it true that
Nothing I say is true. Okay. Nope.
Up until June of 2015, were you trying to keep what you knew about Nut's murder to yourself?
Can you say that again?
Sure. Prior to this interview in June of 2015, were you trying to keep what you knew about Nut's murder to yourself?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told detectives, this is what I'm telling you, this is what I'm telling you, I'm asking you, with the murder, I'm trying to explain it. I act like I never heard about it. I act like I never told D and none of them, period. So I just kept it to myself.
Yeah, I tell so many lies and different stories to the point I don't even know. I don't have a clue what I don't see. All I know was I'm innocent. And today I'm innocent. And Threat innocent too.
What are you innocent of?
Anything.
Okay. Are you innocent of, did you not kill Nut? Is that what you're talking about?
Now, ask me that how many times now?
Because I'm trying to understand what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay. Were you, back in 2015, concerned that Thug had stopped talking to you? Excuse me, back in 2015.
Can you ask me that again?
Sure. Back in 2015, were you concerned that Thug was not speaking to you?
No.
Isn't it true that you told the detectives, he's not talking to me, period, and you're talking about Thug? And they asked you, he's not talking to you for a reason because he thinks you're talking to us. And your response is, he's not thinking I'm telling you nothing. He's just thinking I'm talking to the police a lot because he heard my conversation with the police.
I'm talking to the police, so my only motive is to throw them off. You know what I mean? Like, what I got going on ain't got nothing to do with him, but they want to keep tying him into what I got going on, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw it off on him because I was mad he put that song out saying this and then the third that don't got nothing to do with him, so he never did that, so I'm going to put the blame on him. Don't throw me under the bush. I'm going to throw you under the bush. That was my whole motive.
Now with your name inside of the songs, were you concerned that he was putting your names in songs. You thought he should be putting Shannon's names in the
So,
songs?
so for one, the song was old. Halftime was old. The song been out since like 2014. You know what I mean? I wasn't mad about. I was mad about the timing of when the song was released, because the facts are the facts. I mean, I don't shoot nobody for that, man. So when he put it out, I didn't care for the song, but when he put it out, the police were trying to put this murder on me, and they was targeting me. I don't like the police keep bothering me, so I just didn't like I didn't like the timing of when they put that song out. When their label, whoever put it out, I didn't like the timing of it.
When you said the police were trying to put the murder on you, didn't the police have you come in every single time for you to tell?
Can you say that again?
You said the police were trying to put the murder on you.
Right.
When you went in each of these times in early June, in January through June, did you ever get arrested for Nuts murder?
What you mean?
You said the police were trying to put the murder on you. Between January and June of 2015, did you ever get arrested for Nuts murder?
No.
Okay. So during the time that you kept going into the police, did they ever, at any of these times, arrest you for Nuts murder?
They were discombobulated. They were so confused. I kept spinning them. But when he put that song out, they was like, "Yeah, you did it."
In any of these interviews that you had with the detectives, what detective said you killed Nut?
Hell, I don't know.
Okay. So isn't it true that none of the detectives ever said that you killed Nut in any of these interviews from January to June of 2015?
All right. I need y'all to give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna pull up another string. Hold on.
'15. Going back to the night that Donovan Thomas was killed, isn't it true that when Little D got into the car, Little D told you that it was Nard, Shannon, and Yak?
All right, I'm sorry about that, y'all. We back at it.
And that they used, isn't it true that they used the car, the rental car that Thug rented?
I don't know. I don't recall nothing I lied to the police about.
Isn't it true that you told the detectives the car they used was the rental car that Thug had? Isn't it true that they asked you if you knew the make and model of the car?
Today, right now, as I'm right here, the truth is I never seen none of them people who I mentioned the night that that's supposed to happen.
Okay.
I told the investigators anything, and they went going for the stuff that I was telling them. So I had to try my best to convince them. So guess what? I would have to do fuck it. I'm about to put it on these niggas because they closer to me. They'll go for it. I don't just trying to get them out my face.
They asked you where Thug rented the car from, and didn't you tell them that he rented from the airport?
So you gotta take a little truth and put it with the bullshit.
Okay. Is it true that he rented the vehicle from the airport?
I don't recall nothing. I'm tired of answering these questions at this point. You keep asking me the same thing over and over and over and over.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told the detectives he rented the car from the airport?
I don't tell the police the truth.
Okay. Would it surprise you that we actually got the rental car records from the airport, that where Thug rented the vehicle from the airport?
You didn't hear me say I take a little bit of truth and put it with the rest of it to convince them?
Okay. Isn't it true that once D told you that they killed them, you asked why did they do that?
It's true that I ain't stupid as y'all think.
Okay. And he told you he didn't know.
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that's what you told the detectives?
I don't recall.
Isn't it true you asked Demekion, was he with them when the murder happened?
I don't recall.
And his response was, no, he wasn't there.
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that's what you told the detectives?
The truth is, you asked me about lies. I done said it in the past, and I'm sitting right here trying to be truthful. But you keep trying to go into lies that I can't keep up with. I remember.
Isn't it true that Demekion told you that Bentley went and hid all the stuff?
I never get into business that don't have anything to do with me.
Okay. Isn't it true that's what you told the detectives, that D told you that Bentley went and hid the stuff?
I tell the detectives that anything to get them off of me.
Okay. Isn't it true that Little D told you that they initially rolled past the barbershop and that's when they saw a nut?
Hell, I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay. Isn't that what you told the detectives that Little D told you?
I don't recall nothing I done told the investigators.
And isn't it true that Little D told you that when they saw a nut, they switched cars?
I don't recall nothing I don't lie to the investigators about.
Okay. And isn't it true that's what you told the detective, that they switched cars?
I don't recall.
Okay. Isn't it true that D told you that they switched cars and Thug got into the Pontiac with a girl?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Why would I be wanting to know if any of this that took? I don't even want to know because I don't. It's nothing to do with me. So I'm making. I don't recall.
Okay. Isn't it true that's what you told the detective, that the Beacon told you that Thug and the girl, they got in a Pontiac?
I don't recall.
Okay. And when they clarified who all was in the Pontiac, you said Demekion, Thug, and the girl.
I don't recall.
And is it true that you told them that they switched cars at the gas station?
I don't recall.
Okay. Would it surprise you that we have surveillance video from the gas station?
The hell if I know?
Okay. And would it surprise you that it shows the Pontiac and the Great Infinity at the gas station?
Do it show me?
You told me this is what Demekion told you, correct?
Man, you hear me? I don't recall nothing I don't say to the investigators.
Now, isn't it true that you also told him that Doo-Wop was there as well?
Who?
Doo-Wop.
I don't recall nothing I told to the investigators.
And isn't it true that you told the detective that, again, that you FaceTimed Thug that night?
I don't recall nothing I told to the investigators.
Okay. On the night of the murder, did you tell Deshaun what Demekion had just told you?
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that you told the detectives that after Demekion told you what happened, you called Deshaun and you told her the truth?
I don't recall.
And you told the detectives that they could call Deshaun down to the police department and talk to her?
I don't recall.
And matter of fact, you told the detectives, you told Deshaun, if anything happens to me, tell the police what I told you.
I don't recall.
Okay. Now, what is the reason that the Thug and Nut have a personal beef?
He's behind you. You can ask him that.
Isn't it true that you told the detectives in this June interview Nut and Thug had something personal against each other?
And I told the investigators anything. I'm pretty sure I probably told them a different lie. You can't go off of what I don't said to them people. I don't remember what I said to them.
Isn't it true that Nut and Thug got into a beef before you and Kel got into it?
Hell, I don't know. Ask him.
Isn't it true that you told the detectives they fell out before B and Kel got into it?
I don't recall. Then I told to the investigators.
And when they asked you, did you know what they got into it over? You said you weren't sure.
I don't recall.
And if you were trying to lie, couldn't you just make up something at that point?
Huh?
If you were trying to lie, as opposed to saying you don't know what their beef was over, couldn't you just have made it up at that point?
Just like, you got to understand, like, the pressure gets so real, like, man, I don't. Y'all just had me now question me. I don't know what, I don't have a clue what I was saying.
Now, isn't it true in this June interview, you also told them about the fight at Club Crucial that Monday before Nut got killed?
Man, I'm pretty sure in that interview I made all type of things up to say.
Now, in this June interview, would that now be the 5th time that you told them about this fight at Club Crucial?
I don't know. If somebody do something to me, I'm going to remember that because I'm going to be a victim.
Okay, so if you were making stuff up, why did you keep on consistently telling them about
I
this?
said, if somebody did something to me, I'm going to be a victim because once I be able to do something back to them, I'm going to be justified.
Okay.
Okay.
So you told them about these events leading up to the night.
I told them about events that involve people doing something to me. I don't know what I done told them.
Now, on the Monday night after you got beat up and you ran outside
You said I got beat up?
by Shell Cal,
I'm listening.
and you went outside afterwards, correct?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling the police in this same June interview that when you went outside, Thug was pulling on your shirt like, there go Bloody J right there?
I don't recall.
Okay. And next thing you know, you heard Shannon Shannon was near you when Thug said, there go Bloody J right there.
I don't recall.
Okay. And isn't it true that you then told the police that Shannon and Munsil then jumped on Bloody J?
You keep saying, is it true? I keep telling you, I don't lie to the investigators. So nothing I said was true.
I'm asking you, isn't true this is what you told the investigators?
I don't know what I done told them.
Okay, isn't it true that in January you told them that some of your buddies jumped on Bloody J, but you didn't go into specifics?
What you getting all aggressive for?
Isn't it true that you told them in January that your buddies beat up Bloody J?
I don't recall.
Okay, but now in June you got with more specificity of who those buddies were that beat up
I
Bloody
didn't
J.
hear you.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear you.
In June, you now told them with specificity who beat up Bloody J.
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that on the night that you and Shell got into it at the club, when you came outside while they were beating up Bloody J, Yak got stopped by the police that night?
I don't know.
Isn't it true that you told the police that Yak got stopped by police that night?
I don't recall what I done told the police. If I told the police he got stopped that night and he got stopped that night, that's me again trying to put some truth with the rest of it to convince them that I'm being truthful.
And is it true that you told them that night he got pulled over and locked up with a gun?
I don't know. He right there. Ask him.
Is it true that's what you told the police?
I done told the police anything to get them out of me.
Is it true on this same night of Club Crucial that after Yak got pulled over that you saw Thug and Nard get into a car?
I don't recall. Nothing I told to the police.
Okay. I'm asking that what happened that night.
What you mean what happened that night?
On the night of Club Crucial, did you see Thug and Nard get into a car?
No.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told police that you saw Thug and Nard get into a car?
Ain't no telling what I told the police. I'm not going to tell them the truth. I know that.
And when Thug and Nard got into the car, did they pull onto a side street?
Thug behind you, ask him.
I'm asking you.
I don't recall. Nothing I told to the police.
I'm asking you, did that occur?
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that's what you told the police? That
I don't
Thug,
recall.
All right. Isn't it true that you told the police that Thug pulled on a side street?
I don't recall.
Once you pulled on the side street, did you and your brother pull up next to them on that side street?
No.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told the police that you and your brother pulled up beside them on the side street?
I didn't tell the police anything about Thug to get them off of me.
Okay. Now, back in 2015, on this same night in Club Crucial,
I didn't hear your date.
on this same Monday night at Club Crucial, did you see Nard? Did you speak to Nard and Thug while y'all were on the side street?
No.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told him that you spoke to Nard and Thug while y'all were on the side street?
I don't recall. Nothing I told to the police, but I know it is a long way from the truth.
Okay. And that either Nard or Thug said that they were waiting for Buddy J.
Are you ready to rule the realm? With the new Game of Thrones scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you could win up to $200,000 instantly, or a chance at a trip to Napa Valley, where you could win your share of up to $7 million in cash prizes. Play the Game of Thrones scratch-off and let your reign begin.
Isn't it true that you said that you heard a gun cocked back from inside their vehicle?
Told you, I'm going to tell the police anything get them out for me. I'm not about to tell them what I done done.
Okay. And that the person that you heard with the gun was Nard?
Just a lie. I don't recall.
Okay. Did you hear Nard with a gun?
Huh?
Did you see Nard with a gun in the car?
I didn't see Nud that night.
Okay. So you do know who Nard is?
No. That's what I'm telling you. I didn't see Nud that night. You keep asking me about Nud. I don't.
How then can you say you didn't see Nard that night if you don't know who Nard is?
Because it's nothing. Just no. Hold on. You got me talking fast because you frustrating me again. I don't know Nord personally, but I know who Nord is. I didn't see Nord in the car with no gun. Like I said, they jumped on me. I had a knot, and I was mad, and I was gonna get my get back. I did not leave with I left by myself with the people that was in the car with me. And no, you do not need to know who was in the car with me.
Was your brother one of the people in the car with you?
No, my brother, I don't know where he was.
Okay. Why did you tell the detective that your brother was in the car with you?
Because I went for to tell them what I was on.
Did you also, in this same June interview, also tell Detective Gaither and Dennis again about meeting up with Kel at the Cascade skating ring?
I don't recall no lies I told to the investigators that I done told them.
Would this now be again at least the third time that you told detectives about this Cascade skating ring incident with you and Kel?
I don't recall.
Again, did you also in this same interview tell the detectives about the gambling house shooting?
Man, listen, I sit there and tell the detective a whole bunch of bullshit and let them figure it out, let them go run, chase their tail. I don't remember nothing I said to them. They sat right there and listened to all the stories I had to tell, and I'm telling them, I'll say whatever to let me out of jail. They go for it or they don't. And guess what? They sat right there and let me talk and make up all this stuff about these people. And, you know, that just was it. I don't recall nothing I said specific. But I know that I think I said that if I did anyone in an interrogation, I'd say anything if y'all let me go. I'd do anything if y'all let me go. That's my motive.
Isn't it true regarding the gambling house shooting? You gave a little more detail during this interview.
I'm gonna give details if I'm a victim.
Isn't it true that you told them, you know, I kept closing my eyes, but they were shooting behind us and the wall was blocking us. They blocking off the van. It hit through the car, every car in the parking lot. After that, everyone happened to get up. There was kids. There were 4 little boys. They seen Thug and wanted to ride. The little kids, we were looking in the bushes, making sure no one was lying in the bushes. They called the police and stuff. Everyone was wondering where Thug had went, but Thug had already left by the time the police came.
See, even you fell for it. See, you take the little bit of truth that I tell and put it with all the bullshit that I said. And you're highlighting like you said, the details of it. That really took place, but you're trying to put that with all the fairy tales that I made up.
So what part took place? The actual shooting at the gambling house?
The shooting, I don't know. I didn't never see somebody shooting at us. But if the police question me, I'm trying to convince them that I know what I'm talking about. So it's easy to say shell kill. It's easy to put people's name with crime that, because if he did, why y'all don't lock him up? If I say I seen him do it, why y'all don't lock him up and charge you for it? So I don't know what or who did what. I just know that I'm trying to convince that these police that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm so sorry. She frustrated me. You ready? Okay, you listen. All right, I'm trying to convince the police that I know what I'm talking about. And the only way I can do that is telling them something that I know that they know. They know that this gambling house got shot up. So if I tell them this gambling house got shot up and these people did it, they'll go for all the other bullshit that I'm trying to cover up. You feel me? Okay.
You good? You good?
She said, yeah.
All right. Now, earlier I asked you what studio that you go to. Do you recall telling the detectives that the studio that you go to is the one on Northside Drive? It's Metropolitan in the Lofts. Do you recall that being the studio that you would go to?
I don't think I ever been to the studio on Metropolitan. I don't recall going to the studio on Metropolitan.
Back in June of 2015, did you believe that Thug turned everyone against you?
Huh?
Back in June of 2015, did you believe that Thug had turned everyone against you?
That's why I would tell the police anything to get them off me. If y'all watch me like y'all would, y'all would see that nothing ain't changed but the lies I told the police.
So my question is, in June of 2015, did you believe Thug was trying to get everyone to turn against you?
What do you need to do that for?
Isn't it true that you told the detectives that Thug turned everyone against me?
It's true that I tell the investigators anything that they want to hear. They want to hear about Thug, so I'm about to sit right here and gas them up. I'm about to sit right here and say he killed 19 people, all type of stuff. I'm about to sit right here and make him look like the worst person on the earth so that they can believe and let me go.
And at no point in any of these interviews did you ever tell the police that Thug killed Nut, did you?
Shit, did I?
At any point, did you ever tell any police, if you wanted to make him look so bad, at any point, did you ever tell the police that Thug killed Nut?
Shit, I don't know. I think I don't recall. I can't say what I told him. I can't remember because you trying to trap me up. I can't remember if I told them that he did it. I don't.
Isn't it true?
I know I was gonna get it off of me.
Okay. Isn't it true that what you told the detectives, which is what Demekion told you, was that it was Shannon, Nard, Yak, and Doo-Wop?
I don't recall what I told.
Sustain.
Okay. Isn't it true that you only told the detectives what D told you?
I don't recall what I told him. I thought that D was gonna back up my story, so I was trying to throw the blame on D to get it off of me.
Okay. And isn't it true that D only told you that the people who shot the shot were Nard, Shannon, Yak, and Doo-Wop?
Overruled.
What's going on?
I'll repeat the question. Isn't it true that D only told you that it was Nard, Shannon, Yak, and Doo-Wop?
Like I told you in that back room back there, D never told me none of that. I made it up.
All right.
I don't recall.
We need to take a quick break.
Okay.
What's a quick break?
What's a quick break? I don't know. Maybe 10 minutes.
You said 10 minutes? Can I go out?
Yeah, but be back in 10 minutes, okay?
I'm gonna be right there.
All right. Sorry, we had a juror with a nosebleed, so they're gonna go deal with that. So hopefully it won't take very long.
All right, guys. Look like they about to take a break. So
Break until we
stay
get word
tuned.
that
Come
we're
back
good
to the
go.
live in about maybe 5 or 8 minutes or so, and they'll be back, man. But yeah, man, comment your thoughts, man. Do y'all think that YSL Woody is helping Thug with his testimony, or do you think that he's hurting him? Let me know in the comment section, man. I personally think that he's helping, but that's just my own thoughts. I don't think he's purposely like trying to help them. I think that he's just telling his truth. You know, I feel like he was spinning them for a long time. Yeah. Also, man, if you watching this, man, just hit the button. Share this, you know what I'm saying, so it can get seen by more people, man. Get more people in here, man, watching this thing live, man. Oh, man, Woody on the stand, he's still telling the same thing over and over again. I don't know. I don't recall. I was lying. And I'm be honest, I believe him, bro. Like, he got no reason to sit here and lie now. I mean, he not facing no charges. He got immunity. You know what I'm saying? If you really wanted to get up there and really, you know, let everybody go, he would say, that you know, Thug did it, Thug planned this out, this is what happened. But I honestly don't think that it happened the way that they're trying to make it seem, which is why Woody's up here like, no, that didn't happen, I lied about it. You know, that's just my own personal thoughts. I really don't know. You know, I'm just going off of what I see, but we'll see, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in. If you're watching this, hit the like button, or react and drop some comments, man. Tell me what y'all think, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And they'll be back in just a little bit. Exactly. Yep. Exactly, y'all. Exactly. I mean, yeah, okay, so Uncle Elroy, you right, though. He can't unrat, but I think that his ratting was actually him spinning them. Because, like he said, he still did 4-5 years behind bars. If he told just that much, he would have got out as soon as he gave him that info. If they had to verify what he was saying and what he was speaking on, it would be verified. Like, it never got verified, which is the main reason why he never got out. He did all his time after all that stuff that he supposedly told them. So if he actually did tell them something viable or some real information, he would have got out a long time ago. He did all his time, and he took a plea on his own case. So I personally don't think that he actually ratted. I think he's actually being honest right now and saying, yo, I was spinning them. I was like, because if y'all been watching this, every time that they done had DK, Tick, anybody inside the interrogation room, they always ask him about everything that's been going on outside, not about their actual charges. So when they talk about their actual charges, they ask him about everything else. So they ask him about the Donovan Thomas murder. They ask him about other crimes that was committed. So what he's saying when he's like, oh, they always was asking me about Thug. So he made up some stories about, oh, well, yeah. So like when we went to out of town, you know what I'm saying? After that, I came back. They was trying to take me out. We wasn't really around each other. Now he's distancing himself as if he wasn't involved when all that other stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So he went down there to basically spin them because he went down there on his own and said, look, they're saying that I did this. I'm telling y'all I didn't do it. This is what happened. So, right. So like, that's pretty much what was going on. He never actually, I don't think that he was being truthful. I think what he's saying right now that he took some of the stuff that he actually heard and knew and mixed it up to make them seem more guilty because he knew that they didn't do it, and that they couldn't prove it, which is why they never got individually charged with anything. What ended up happening was they hit them 10 years later with this RICO, and now they can bring in a lot of things that they wouldn't be able to bring in on a regular day. You know what I'm saying? So in a regular, case, they like a lot of things that they're bringing up, information told by the people, hearsay, a lot of stuff like that. They can use it in a RICO and say, oh, well, this is a co-conspirator statement and things like that to make them more prejudiced by the jury. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think what he told, I think he was literally doing what he's saying right now. He was spinning them the whole time and taking the pressure off of him. Like, think about it. Yesterday, he said that him and the other dude, Tay, shout out Rich Homie Quan, dad barbershop. Nobody knew this. They never got caught for it. You know what I'm saying? So if he's saying this now, then that's telling you, like, obviously, they never knew who did that. So that's something that they did that they could have been charged for, but they never did it because he never spoke on it. None of the times that they done sat down and he did this, he said, oh yeah, well, I can tell you about who shot up Richmond Crown Barbershop. Tay did it. Like, he held on to all that. So you really think that this man had some real information that he wanted to rat? He could have told on his best friend Tay, who they're trying to say that he told them that he shot at them. Like, when you really sit down and think about it, bro, he really making sense. It's just like some people choose to think that because he made a statement that he, ratted. I'm not saying that he didn't, but I'm saying that what he's saying now, like, I'm really saying, like, I believe what he's saying, that he was trying to spin them. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff might have been a little bit true, but not all the way. You know what I'm saying? So he's just being honest right now. That's what I think. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. The break should be over in just a little bit, man. But I'm about to go finish doing what I was doing. I'm still watching. I'm still listening to things like that, man. But comment your thoughts, man. I appreciate y'all. All right.
could you pick up an agility ladder for my daughter?
I got you.
I think she's going for pro basketball.
Thank you.
We got 2 days
Thank you.
going right
Yeah.
now. So what you think's the next step?
sure Mr. Copeland's on the way in. I did nudge the temperature up a little bit. It's a little cold even for me right now. Right. Yeah. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Tillman. Y'all be seated.
May I speak, Young? I was told that Mr. Melnick been suspended, and I don't want to speak without my attorney.
All right. Let me excuse y'all back again. All right, give us just a second. Yeah, that was brought to our attention fairly recently as well. The thing is, he's going to be suspended for 6 months from practicing. It doesn't have anything to do with this case, but do you have another attorney that you want to engage, or would you like for me to find a volunteer, basically?
I would like for you to find one.
All right. Well, I had already, actually, the public defender's office had been in contact with me to try to find somebody without a conflict, and they have found somebody named Charles Engelberger. So let me try to get in touch with him and see if he can get down here and consult with you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to just step out for now, and I'll take a recess and see what I can get done. All right.
still in the restroom. Jeffrey Williams still in the bathroom restroom.
I'll tell Mr. Copeland this in a minute, but the attorney is happy to help, but not available until the morning. So I'm going to pass along his contact information to Mr. Copeland, and they can plan to be here in the morning. Question for the state. In the meantime, do you have any witnesses that you could get here that are, you know, like hour-long witnesses whose place in the story does not really matter that much? Like, I think you had some people listed as records custodians and things like that. Any chance we could fill the day with something useful while we've got the jury here?
Judge, the two witnesses that we did have on deck to come next were similarly situated. They were Mr. Sledge, whose attorney left town yesterday afternoon, and Mr. Zachary, who said that he is in North Carolina.
Right. So what I'm asking is there a chance you can take some witnesses out of order who aren't integral to the progression of the story that you're telling, but whose testimony you need to get for, you know, whatever reason? Like, you've got some phone record custodians, which I don't know why y'all can't agree to that coming in anyway without a witness, but people like that.
So, Your Honor, the records custodian, for the records that they have to bring in, we do not have business record certs. And so,
Okay.
in prior discussion, I believe that the defense were going to object to those records without having the custodian. Those custodians are out of town, Your Honor. And so we would need time in order to
All right.
them in.
So it sounds like then that we're just going to have to release the jury for the day and pick back up in the morning with testimony, which doesn't mean y'all are all getting released. Maybe we can get some non-jury things done for the afternoon. But let's get Mr. Copeland in here. I'll give him this contact information. Then we'll get the jury in. I'll release them.
Judge, may we approach with the member of the defense before Mr. Copeland comes in just with the question?
Come on. All right, Mr. Copeland, during the break, I was able to speak with Mr. Engelberger, and he is happy to represent you. I've got his name and his phone number written down on this sheet of paper, which I'm going to provide to you, and you can call and speak with him this afternoon. And he is available beginning at 8:45 in the morning. So what we'll do is plan to pick up there tomorrow with you and with him available for you. And in the meantime, between now and then, you go ahead and give him a call and y'all can talk about whatever you need to talk with him about, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll see you at 8:45 tomorrow.
You can give me enough time to talk with him?
Yeah, you can talk with him for the next...
Oh, it's not today?
Yeah.
Oh, so he'll
Yeah, he's available today. He'll be waiting for your call.
I'm not going to have any problem with him, is it?
I mean, I don't know why you should.
Okay.
All right.
You take care.
See you in the morning.
Be safe.
Okay, you too.
I know.
All right, let's get the jury in, and I'll excuse them for the day until 9 tomorrow. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a little bit of a scheduling and procedural hiccup, I guess. So I am going to need to release y'all for the day and have you come back at 9 in the morning to pick back up. We're going to stay and get some other work done, but I'm going to release y'all. I'm going to remind y'all that you are to only decide. We all good? Okay. Decide this case based upon the evidence that you hear in this courtroom. So do not try to find out any information from any source outside the confines of this courtroom. Do not refer to any kind of reference, either old school or online, to try to get information about legal terms, people, places, events, anything like that. Do not talk to anybody about this case. Don't let anybody talk to you about the case. And we will see you all in the morning. Y'all have a good afternoon and evening, and thank you for your time. Sorry it was a short day today. Y'all are excused. See y'all at 9. Good. Okay, so state, I don't know what tomorrow holds. None of us do about this trial or anything else, but make sure that you've got some other witnesses lined up just in the event that who can get here quickly in the event that, you know, things take some other turn in the morning. Scheduling wise, I think I had mentioned yesterday that next week, I wasn't sure whether it was Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. But regardless of what they were told at this point, a juror has a family funeral that they have to travel for on Friday. I've confirmed that. So that'll be a non-jury week in its entirety next week. All right. For us right now, I am hoping that there are some things that we were going to be doing next week that we can just go ahead and tackle today, since we all are here anyway. So, well, I think Miss Love, you were, I think, the one that was maybe taking the lead on the PowerPoint issue. And I know you hadn't filed a written response yet, but can you just kind of provide us with what your position is on that? And maybe we can as in I, can make a decision on that issue.
So, Judge, what I said yesterday and what I was asking him before was the need for the time to locate within the videos of those proceedings, the period that we addressed the PowerPoint. So I had received just some of the transcript of some of one of the days that we addressed it. And I think that we were addressing the PowerPoint in the context of other objections, maybe that there had been mounted to another witness's testimony. I think it may have been D'Angelo White. So the judge at that point had sort of responded to, it may have been commentary by Mr. Sharp regarding reviewing some evidence the night before. I may have these dates and these times sort of conflated with one another, but I believe that when he brought up the PowerPoint, we had not yet argued it or talked about it. And my memory is that I said to the court that we weren't intending to introduce that PowerPoint through this, and as I was walking away, I think I said something like through this witness or at this time or today or something qualifying the assertion that we weren't intending to introduce.
Okay, but no, basically, if your position is we think that it is admissible, what I'm asking for you to do now is tell me why you believe it's admissible, and I'll just make the decision. Okay, can you do that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, Mr. Steele attached it to his motion or supplemented motion. So I've looked at it. And I mean, maybe it would be helpful, Mr. Steele, if you just quickly summarize your position as to its inadmissibility.
Your Honor, this is motion in limine number 49 supplement. It was refiled on August 9th of 2024 on behalf of Mr. Williams. And it was originally filed, and Mr. Adams and I just made it more current.
Right.
But, and that was originally filed on April 17th, 2024. It is my opinion, my memory, and I checked the law and crime video YouTube, that Judge Glanville, and that was a lot of our hearings. I don't know if you watched it, but it was a lot of hectic things, but Judge Glanville excluded it, and the state specifically said they're not going to use it. And to me, I just don't see the admissibility under 401, 2, 3. Because slide 1, it's titled YSL versus Inglewood Family Bloods. That is not the name of this case. I don't know why that would go up in front of the jury.
And I think there are like 80 something or more slides, and I'm not necessarily asking you to go through the details of each slide, just if you can summarize right now.
Okay.
And it may be that we have to get into the slide by slide
Okay. Well,
position, but
it's basically a closing argument. That's really the summary as I would give it. It is something that the state would, over objection, use in their closing argument. And if the court allowed it, maybe that's okay. But for evidence coming in through a supposed gang expert, who I'll be objecting to in addition, he already testified as an expert, and he's a third supposed expert to testify. But there are things. Mr. Williams' home was illegally searched on the July 15, 2015 date. They have slides in there referencing that. They have slides on information that has not come into this trial on supposed investigation and corroboration by law enforcement. I've never seen the corroboration. It's just like a trial by a theory, and that's throughout. And I'm objecting to the entirety of it. And I don't know why any witness, expert or lay person, would be allowed to use this type of demonstrative device to say, let me explain to you the guilt of these people, when specifically even an expert cannot talk about the mens rea or the intention of a party. That's always within the breast of the jury. And this has multiple people, not just Mr. Williams, joining and committing crimes and saying what their intent was by their association. So I hope I've given you a summary, but if you want to go slide by slide, and a lot of information in those slides are not coming into this trial. The state has not called many witnesses that they said they were going to call, like Mr. Lamar, who's a performer known as Rich Homie Quan, Mr. Carter, a performer known as Lil Wayne, Mr. Williams, a producer, performer known as Birdman. They have this information in that slide, and it's just a confrontation clause violation.
all right.
Your Honor, the presentation is meant as an aid for the jury to assist them or allow them to see how it is that Detective Dennis reached the conclusions that we expect will testify about in this case. There are instances where he references hearsay, what would be considered hearsay, but which he is allowed to use to form an opinion and to present an opinion. The slides that Mr. Steele references that have to do with matters that have been excluded from this trial, of course we can see that those would come out and that we would not be attempting to introduce slides that show the inside of Defendant Williams' home as a result of the 2015 search of his home. But there is to exclude the demonstrative that we would be seeking to use through our expert. I don't hear a reason or any basis in law for the just all-out exclusion of information that we believe would be useful to the jury and that Detective Dennis relied on in coming to the conclusion that he did. Much of what is in the PowerPoint does summarize investigations that he conducted. It references persons that he interacted with. It references acts that occurred, investigations that occurred, and again, people that were either self-identifying one way or the other, or that referenced another person as identifying a different way. So we would ask that the court, based on what Mr. Steele has presented, just the fact that he doesn't think that it's admissible or it's a closing argument, that the court deny his motion that we not be allowed at all to use the PowerPoint.
All right. in fairness to Mr. Steele, he's ready to go slide by slide, and I asked him to summarize. So it's not I asked him to summarize the argument. That's not all he would have to say. But this appears to me to have maybe originally been some sort of a law enforcement briefing. Is that what this was?
In terms of the investigation, of course, started out sort of as you know, them talking and law enforcement, various agencies talking amongst one another and briefing themselves. But in the end, this PowerPoint was something that was used by Detective Dennis in, you know, discussing the investigation with the district attorney's office, and that we believe as well would be useful in allowing the jury to digest pieces of information that he would be presenting through his testimony. Well, I could go through.
So tell me which slides you think you are absolutely concede are not going to be used. I mean, I'm just looking at one right now. It's, I think, slide number 36. It's got a lot of pictures, and it says a rap dispute between Lil Wayne and Birdman spilled over into Atlanta once rapper and YSL 30 Deep leader Young Thug got involved. I mean, how is that not totally conclusory and something that maybe this jury is supposed to be deciding? And that's just, you know, the one I happen to be scrolling onto right now.
Your Honor, the information that is in the letters, in the words rather, that are on the slide, we would concede removing that as conclusory, but Detective Dennis has shared, and I believe would share information regarding what law enforcement learned throughout this investigation as related to not just the Lil Wayne bus shooting, but how that related to YSL and members of YSL, and what the artist that goes by the name of Birdman, what they learned.
So you're saying all the words would be removed?
Not on this slide right here. I'm not saying all the words, Judge. I want to be really clear. I'm not speaking about all the words. And I don't think that it's necessary for all the words to be removed in this PowerPoint. But when the court asked me to tell or identify the ones that I concede would be, you know, should be removed, I can, if the court permits me the time to look through it and look at those and pull those out, I can do that. But what we had was a whole hog objection to the entirety of the PowerPoint and an assertion that it was inadmissible overall.
Well, I mean, you're I think at this point making the argument that you think it would be a demonstrative aid to, is this Dennis who's going to be testifying to this?
It is.
And
we can sort of.
so let's look at like slide number 22. We've got people pictured up here who, some but not all of them were charged. I have no idea whether they were convicted. We got lots of shots of, you know, weaponry. There just looks like there's a whole lot that's not going to be appropriate or admissible. If you
So what we're looking at, the slide that I have.
can you pull that mic over towards you? I think some of the people are having a hard time hearing.
So the slide that I'm looking at as number 22, I think is different than the one that the court is looking at as 22. So I'm not certain why. I'm looking at one that has Miss Entrevia Smith, Kelvin Wild, San Antonio Sledge on it. So it's different than the one that the court is looking at. I would ask that the court, if we're going to.
I mean, it's again, it's just kind of an example. So I think that maybe if this is going to have to be a slide by slide thing, that y'all get on the same page as to what PowerPoint you are even intending to use, and then you take out all of the ones that you concede and acknowledge are not admissible or would be overly prejudicial under the 403 standard. Take out all the words that you think that is not appropriate, and then get that back to me, and I can look at it slide by slide. But
I think that would be good. I think I would ask for permission to do exactly that, Judge, as opposed to, because yes, I can do that, and I would ask for permission to do that.
okay, I'm going to need that done by Friday.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we can't do that today. We'll be doing that next week. All right, on the measure to suppress recently filed as to Mr. Ryan's statement from 2019, it looks to me, now that it's been further particularized, that there's an argument that he was not Mirandized. I don't know. I haven't seen the statement yet. I don't know if the state's position is he wasn't in custody at the time and therefore Miranda rights weren't required. I'm going to need an answer to that. I also need the statement from one side or the other so that I can have the benefit of actually being able to see the statement. Okay, so y'all get that to me as soon as you can. That ought to be an easy click something and send the email. And is the state, do you, I mean, I assume y'all are familiar with the statement they're talking about, and it was not used in his 2021 trial, but I think, Ms. Love, you've represented that you might want to use it in this trial. Is that right?
I did.
Okay. Do you know whether y'all's position is that he wasn't in custody, or do you know what you're going to be arguing on that?
Just 1 second, Your Honor. We were actually going back and forth, and I'm having trouble getting onto our server. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Can you pull it up? Are you on the server? Your Honor, could the court give me a 10-minute recess? I wasn't expecting to argue this part of it, and I just need to sign into our server.
I mean, I understand that all of this is on the fly at this point. We weren't going to take it up until next week, and now I'm trying to get something accomplished while we've got this unexpected free time. I don't think we need a recess for that. You just be working on that, and maybe I'll ask one of your co-counsel to address the next issue. Actually, I can ask, I can't see all the way around there. Is Mr. Harvey with us? Okay, who's here? Can you speak to, remind me your name? Try it one more time.
Lamar Gardner.
Okay, Mr. Gardner. Okay. Mr. Harvey had filed a couple of days ago a motion to exclude kind of, I guess, what he phrased untimely disclosed co-conspirator or alleged co-conspirator statements. Would you be able to identify specifically which co-conspirator statements he's saying were late identified?
I wouldn't be able to, but if you give me a minute, I can find out.
Okay.
Statements.
And then maybe today would be a good time to start looking at that exhibit list, and on the exhibits that there is not agreement on, kind of figure out, have those been admitted or have those not? Is that something you think we could all tackle today? We could try.
We can do the first part. We are almost finished with it, but we can do a chunk of it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to step off for just a second. Y'all stay here and keep working. I'll be right back. All right, Ms. Love, were you able to get on the server? Okay. So can you tell, and if you don't know right now, that's fine, but if you do know about the statement.
So he gave a statement, after he was read his rights. Ms. DeWilliams just sent over, what she called a particularized, motion.
Okay.
Regarding the statements. So I was reading what she had written.
Use your mic, please.
I was just reading what Ms. DeWilliams sent over just now, that she had labeled a particularized.
Ms. T. Williams, did you not provide that to opposing counsel when you emailed it to the court? Or is this yet another new one?
It just came
I'm
through
confused.
on me.
Is it the motion or is it the statement?
So what just came through on my email was labeled particularized Jackson Deno motion. Right. So I was reading that.
It may just be the same title. I think this is the statement itself, which I had asked somebody to send. So thank you, Misty Williams. And I would think you would have been copied with the.
I'm sure I was. I
okay.
I got that.
All right. If you're not already just generally familiar with it, that's fine. I'll look at the statement and wait for your response, and we'll deal with it on next week. Go ahead.
So the question the court had initially asked was it in custody, and
right.
Was it one that we intended to use? So the first part was it is a custodial statement, and it was one that we, for the sake of brevity, at one point we were pondering with not using it, but under the circumstances. He was convicted of this murder, and given that he was convicted of the murder, and the evidence we intended to put up in addition to the conviction, there were considerations we were making in terms of brevity. Like, do we use it? Do we not use it? Do we use portions of it?
That is fantastic to hear that y'all are making considerations based on brevity. I encourage that wholeheartly. Go ahead.
And so, in as much as there's a need to have a Jackson Deno statement, just because of that possibility and that uncertainty.
Okay, but you're saying it was custodial and that he was Mirandized?
He was Mirandized. I think maybe the issue is that. The issue may be was it a full, like Miranda? Was it, was he fully apprised of his Miranda rights?
Okay, well, I mean, I guess we'll take that up next week. And I don't know, Misty Williams, was I misunderstanding what you said in your motion? I thought you said that he was not given any Miranda rights at all. Or warnings, not rights, but warnings.
Is this on? Okay. He wasn't given his full Miranda warnings at all.
Okay, but that's not exactly what you said in your motion.
And then also they have a procedure they're supposed to follow, and Detective Hogan did not follow those procedures.
Okay, that's also not in your motion.
Would you like me to redo my motion?
You don't have to redo your motion as long as I know what it is actually arguing. But, I mean, you ought to try to get it right to begin with.
So we're going to be on the calendar for next week, Your Honor?
Yeah, but I told y'all that yesterday. That's not a surprise.
On Monday?
I don't know when we'll get to it. We're going to be working all week next week. Be prepared to deal with it on Monday.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that's that. We'll deal with that on Monday. I have the statement now, so and I understand what your argument is. And if there's anything about a procedure that you mentioned that they didn't follow a procedural that they were supposed to follow, if you've got law that it's legally required, then please have that at the ready. All right. Okay. Do we know yet which of the co-conspirator statements are asserted to have been late disclosed?
Not the three particular that he mentioned in the motion, Your Honor. I'm still waiting on a response for the exact three statements, but I do know that those statements were provided outside of the November 5th, 2023. State filed a supplemental motion to introduce co-conspirator statements. I think in generally, he's objecting to any statements that were provided outside of that November 5th date. But speaking to the three that he mentioned in his recently filed motion, I still have not received that information yet.
All right. So we'll wait on that as well. And there's some, I think, allusion in there to wiretaps. So I don't know if there are statements that were contained within wiretaps. Okay. Well, we'll deal with that, I guess, further as well next week. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Stillwell, as the Harvey rule is in effect, my stance has been that, and really this has been my stance, and I believe it's other attorneys' stance since way back over a year ago, is the ball has been in the state's court to identify hearsay exceptions that they contend falls under the co-conspirator exception. They did file a motion that was timely that identified three, and we've discussed those three. But at this point at trial, and I know we discussed this last week, my recollection, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. My recollection is that we discussed this last week, and the state was to provide specificity on the statements that they plan to use. So
that's right. And
we still don't.
Has it still not been done?
We've provided a host of the statements from the wiretap that we've identified. I think over 200. There's clips, there's small statements, but the point of it is that the statements contained with the wiretaps, within the wiretaps in the jail calls, were statements that defense counsel referenced to the court were things that they were objecting to as we were ongoing, since they were all turned over and everyone had to review all the same batch of evidence. So we've turned over a number of statements that were contained within those wiretaps that count from our standpoint as co-conspirator statements. And that may or may not be what Mr. Sharp is referencing now. That is the only thing I can think that he's referencing now, since that's what we most recently turned over for the court's instruction. And we're continuing to go through and make sure that we identify.
Okay. I mean, it ought to be that. I know that's not what you were referencing. You were referencing that there was a universe of three identified and dealt with, and now there's more. But with regard to what's in the wiretaps and jail calls, now that y'all have identified them with particularity, we can deal with them. I do think it sounded like y'all were sort of doing it in a rolling way with regard to some of that. So that's fine. We'll take those up individually. Are there any other potential co-conspirator statements that have not been particularly identified now?
So there may be others in the Instagram and in the phone dumps. And as far as the wiretaps and the jail calls, we had, as I said, provided a number of those, and we were supplementing as we went through and identified any more.
All right, didn't I give you a deadline?
You did, and we provided.
You provided some by that deadline, but not all?
We listened to and provided. They are correct. There are thousands of pages, and we have identified. We've gotten through up to a certain point. Those wiretap calls. We have identified up to that point, and we were providing, since they had them, we were trying to at least identify as many of all of the ones that they have had since the beginning as we could. And we were continuing to supplement them as we saw them. But we indeed went through, we have made the best effort that we can to comply with the court's instructions to identify those calls that we consider co-conspirator statements. We've been doing that with the wiretaps, the phone calls, the jail records, the phone dumps, and the Instagram records as well. So we've been continuing to identify those that fall into that category.
Okay, so you had a deadline, the deadline has passed, and I mean, at some point, a deadline needs to mean something. Why y'all don't already know what evidence you're going to use is beyond me, but.
Judge, I can say that as a result of the volume of evidence that we have, we do and had identified, obviously, pieces of evidence that were more discrete and were smaller in number. But as far as the wiretaps, of course, we've had teams working on it.
Okay, but I mean, the wiretap, that you said you've done that now. So what about the rest of it? The Instagrams and the phone calls, and you said there might be more in those.
We're still going through all of those. We've identified, and we literally created a link, and we have put them in the link and served them. And anything that we found or find past the point that we served the initial link, we are providing that as well. We are, from our position, of course, the court has given us a deadline. Of course, we're trying to comply with that deadline. When we provided information to the defense, and in as much as there's something at the very end that, by happenstance, someone has seen that we have not yet identified, that we did not yet lay eyes on, that is in some way inculpatory. The volume of calls, our position is we turn it over. We should not be precluded from using it, but we are trying to comply with every instruction that the court has given us. We are making our very best efforts to do that. And we believe that as the court has said, we are aware that we have these ongoing obligations. This is not information that we've not turned over. This does not fall into that category.
Yeah, I understand that it is somewhere in the, universe of discovery that's been provided, but it has not been identified as here is a co-conspirator, what we assert to be a co-conspirator statement, because there is essentially a standing objection demanding that before anything gets admitted as a co-conspirator statement, the state establish the prerequisites for its admission as a co-conspirator statement. And so I have to make a ruling on each of those things. And until it's identified, I can't possibly make a ruling because we don't know what we're talking about. And I don't honestly think that my directive that there needs to be a deadline is the first one that's been issued in this case. I believe Judge Glanville had also said this all needs to get done at this point.
As it related to the wiretap information and the information that we're going through now and identifying co-conspirator statements from, that was a matter that, just by nature of the way that we were proceeding with the case, that was addressed as we proceeded.
Okay. Well.
But we do have, and we have identified, and we can discuss, I think, over 100 if we were to start now and start
All right.
talking about them.
So, at some point, there just has to be some kind of management of this case. It just cannot, I mean, I guess it could be, but it seems not practical that the case is going to go on forever because you're going to use every possible piece of evidence that you can uncover. I mean, that's no way to try a case. And it's not fair to the other side of any case to not know, for the most part, going into the trial, what the evidence is going to be. And I mean, we've had this discussion before, but y'all also, aside from that, y'all have got to kind of get a handle on what your case is going to be and decide what needs to be culled and what really needs to be presented.
Your Honor, the only reason that I can say that the reason that we want and feverishly seek to look at it all is that we don't want to be precluded in the event that, we don't anticipate playing every single co-conspirator statement that exists in these wiretaps.
Right.
But in the event that there is one that is particularly important, and it's one that we didn't say by this date, we're going to use this one, because we had not yet found that one, smoking call or whatever it is. Our position is just that it disadvantages that, just to an extent that we did not make the call. We feel that we should be allowed to at least access those that not whole hog all thousands of co-conspirator statements, but in the event that there are some, and we will narrow them down.
Okay. All right.
But we've identified ones that we.
All right. Well, get the rest of them identified and that identification information to the state by the end of this week.
Your Honor, may I respond briefly, just so we're all on the same page? I don't mean to go tit for tat. That's not my intent here. But if the state is referring to the email sent to us on on August 9th of 2024 at 11:23 p.m., from what I can see, there's approximately 150 to 200 calls off the wiretap. They are not, some of these calls are 15 minutes. It's not about me listening to it. That's fine. I've already listened to this stuff. But just attaching a 15-minute call, a 10-minute call, doesn't necessarily indicate what co-conspirator statement you're intending to introduce. So there's just not a lot of specificity. Now, some of them are shorter.
My guess is, from what Ms. Love just said, she wants to cover all her bases. And so if there is anything said by that person in that call, she wants to be able to potentially use it. So I think she's saying every bit of it might be a co-conspirator statement. Am I wrong?
No. I'm
not wrong.
Well, if the intent is to litigate that, then I I think I'm stating the obvious. It creates a whole lot of outside the presence of the jury litigation about stuff because the state is not, and the state control this case. They controlled when to indict it, and they.
Well, y'all did file, I don't know who it was, but a speedy trial demand. But you're right, they indicted it. So they knew a speedy could have been filed and they needed to be ready. I don't know that everybody filed one, but did everybody?
I filed one. It wasn't recognized by the court.
You did not file one.
I did.
You're right. Yeah, I think it was within the period where everything was stayed. Is that what happened?
He filed a constitutional speedy.
No, I filed a statutory speedy.
Okay.
And
anyway, at least some people have filed a statutory speedy that was recognized, and y'all are all being tried together, so that drug the whole case to trial at the same time. However, you're right that once the state indicted, they knew a speedy could be filed and needed to be ready to go or either sever people out. It doesn't require a response. It's a statement of fact. Okay. So can we start on the exhibit list? I don't think there were that many that were in dispute.
Your Honor, excuse me, I don't believe we have the exhibit list yet. Is that correct, Ms. Hilton?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not being clear. One of the things that was proposed, I think by Mr. Steele, was why don't we take a chance to look at all of the exhibits that have been admitted so far and make sure we're on the same page about that. And I don't think there was that much dispute about that. So I'm thinking let's do that right now. Y'all do have that, right?
The state was going to provide the list that we believe is the list of admitted exhibits. And so I'm getting ready to forward what we've created, but it's individual by the acts as they came in. And so I'm getting ready to forward that to everyone, but we were actually having printed copies brought down so that everyone could actually physically have one in their hand. And so that's what we were hoping would be down here by the time you finish, but I can forward what we have and it'll just take a little more time because it'll be electronic.
All right. So it seems that Mr. Steele's, what was it? It was like an Excel spreadsheet that was provided is pretty organized and orderly. Have y'all not tried to kind of match up what y'all have to that?
We have been matching that up. There are instances where electronic exhibits were shown to witnesses that we don't have a printed copy of to confirm that it was the exact exhibit that was admitted. There were instances where changes were made. There were multiple instances where the court required redactions, but we did not.
All right. So we're not ready on that either. So I think it may be that we actually need the prior court reporter in court one day for that next week. So why don't I figure out which day is the best day for her to do that? But that is something else y'all need to be ready to go with on Monday. So, I mean, I think I've been through my whole list of what's outstanding, and there doesn't seem to be anything we can accomplish today. Yes, sir.
If I may, Your Honor, last week we painstakingly went through transcripts.
Yes.
And redacted certain things. My understanding is that the state was going to have a printout. I think over our objection, their plan is to just pause the sound during redacted periods. But my understanding is they were going to provide a transcript with all the redactions after Your Honor's rulings, so we could review them and just make sure we're 100%. And if there's an issue, we're not bringing it to you at the last minute with the jurors in the box.
All right.
So I don't believe that we've been provided the redacted transcripts yet, or the state's version of the redacted transcripts, and we would like to at least have those so we could review them prior to them being played.
And is that correct that y'all plan to just pause the parts that are redacted? So y'all better be really good on the trigger with that. There are some parts where it's like, you know, part of a sentence, but not the next sentence.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, with evidence reviewer, it was a challenge to convert to the MP4 so it can be clean. It was distorted because we tried doing that previously. So that is the state's plan. I will send over the highlighted versions of the transcript that's redacted in a moment, as soon as I finish sending over the exhibit list.
Okay, so y'all can't just, there's no way that y'all can either put something together that is just the unredacted part or fuzz out the redacted part?
Does the court mean for the video?
I mean, I don't know how y'all are intended to play it. If you're intended, I don't know how you're intending to play it.
So, Your Honor, we're playing it through evidence reviewer, and we have successfully muted the portions of the video where it has continued to play in front of the juror, but it's very easy, and we have successfully done it on multiple occasions, muted the sound while the video continues to play for a couple of reasons. One, to allow the jury to see what's going on during that time, but two, to make certain they don't hear what is being said.
All right, so I'm glad to hear that it's muted at least, so there's no possibility or very little possibility that they'll hear something they're not supposed to hear. And so y'all have done that with video already where they're seeing that something else is going on that they're not privy to?
Yes, we've done that on multiple occasions.
And we also,
that's something that everybody agreed to?
No, we objected to that because it appeared to us that if the jury's sitting in the box and they're watching a video,
they're going, wonder what they're saying now.
Exactly.
So have y'all provided any explanation for that?
No, because the same way that if we were to cut it out and it skips to a part of the video, the jury would be wondering, wait, that didn't make sense. It skipped to an unrelated part. So even if we had the ability to cut out and cut and splice, it would be as choppy as it is.
Yeah.
And on other occasions, the jury...
So let me ask you this. If it's like a 2-minute redaction, are we just sitting in silence for 2 minutes?
No,
what's
generally,
going on?
Well, in some instances, if it's a small redaction, we'll let it play. But like 2 minutes, we'll fast forward and say on the record, we are fast forwarding from here to here. We'll mute it and say, Your Honor, we're stopping at this point and we're picking up at that point. And that's what we do. We literally just take the advancing button and advance it to the point in the future that we're playing.
But let me just say, it really has not played out that smoothly in the past. Yes, there have been some occurrences where they've been able to mute it and it goes smoothly, but in other instances, yes, we're sitting here for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then in other instances where they try to skip ahead, they skip ahead, but then it's not quite far enough or it's too far, then got to come back a little bit. So it hasn't been played out.
Yeah, and I mean, we got a lot of videos to get through, it sounds like. So can y'all endeavor to find out whether maybe even if you have to outsource it to somewhere else, you could put something together that's spliced, because that is a whole lot better than, I mean, it may sound like, oh, wait, that's weird, but that's better than, well, something's going on here.
So we've spliced, we have done that. We've actually taken the videos that have to be played through evidence reviewer, and we've formatted it, converted it, just as Ms. Hilton said, into an MP4 format.
Right.
That does not play smoothly at all.
Okay, and I hear you saying that y'all do not have the ability to do that, but I mean, people put big multi-million-dollar trials on all the time. There are all kinds of outside, I don't know what they are, but companies who do things like this. Can y'all look into whether y'all can get that done? Because that would be a way, way better way to do it both time-wise and in terms of the jury not seeing and wondering, well, what's going on right now? Both of those reasons. Y'all see what you can do about that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And while we're kind of just on the topic of that, is your plan to play, like, you know, for instance, we went through 5 statements, video statements of Mr. Copeland outside the presence of the jury to determine what parts were admissible and what parts were not. And Ms. Hilton, you've asked him about at least parts of all 5 of those statements. Is the plan ultimately to then play the entirety minus the redacted portions of all of those statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Judge?
Yes.
Can I, if I may direct a question to the state, just to make sure I'm clear. So we're talking about obviously the videos, but we're also talking about the redacted transcript as well, the actual physical transcript.
Okay. Now, I thought y'all had told me that no, you didn't intend to pass out transcripts like to the jury. Is that right?
Straight.
No, Judge, no. We said that we would correct the transcript
Right.
and redact them so that
For the benefit of the other side. We're not planning to give transcripts to the jury, are we?
no, well, no. We were asking to do that. I think there was an objection. I just wanted to be clear. We never said that we were not, because we would be asking that the court simply instruct the jury that the transcripts are not evidence. I think that when the objection was raised, it was that the transcripts were different.
Okay.
And that they didn't want them to be reading something that was not actually being said. And our position is that the court has the ability and, you know, generally does instruct the jury. What you hear is the evidence, not what you're looking at. So that was the reason that that was another reason that we were endeavoring to get them as accurate as we could and to get an agreement on it. I thought that the court had said, before we give anything to the jury, we wanted to get as much an agreement.
Y'all at least get agreement as to what everybody thinks is being said.
Yeah, our position was that we are absolutely objecting to the jury getting the physical transcripts. I think the discussions we were having was that once we had made a decision as to what was being redacted, out, we were going to get a physical copy of the transcript. And so my question was, because I heard Ms. Hilton say a little while ago something about the highlighted portions, and I just wanted to be clear that I think what she's sending to us, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, is that they're going to send us the transcript, and perhaps the portions that have been redacted out are going to be highlighted so we can identify that. Am I correct about that, Ms. Hilton?
Yes, you are.
Okay. But if you intend to ask the court to let the jurors have a transcript as kind of a listening aid, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I know that is what we all used to do back in the old days. And there are definitely things on all of these that are difficult to discern what's being said. But we all also recognize that the transcription of at least some people's statements was far less than accurate. So are y'all planning to have them retranscribed or corrected or something?
Yes, that is the reason that when I said any transcript before we even offer or ask to be passed out to the jury, we would correct and share with the defense and get some kind of consensus, even if it isn't an exact consensus, before we even ask the court to pass it out to the jury. The highlighted portions that Ms. Hilton was giving was just to aid in our discussions and agreement with regard to the redacted portions.
Okay. Well, we got Mr. Copeland on the stand right now, and I hope that by Friday we are finished with him. Because that's a lot of days of one person's testimony. But if part of that is you're planning to play for him his statements to present him with his prior inconsistencies, they need to have seen the redacted videos, seen the redacted transcripts, and had a chance to review that for themselves and digest it. and it's Tuesday.
So before we attempted to pass it out, we would indeed give them time to digest it, understanding that it is Tuesday. We had been working on the redacted video portion, and that we were planning to do it one way, but the court.
Right. When do you expect to be able to get this to them? Everything that has to do with Mr. Copeland's video statements that are going to get played.
So, Your Honor, the state intends to give them 3 of the transcripts that has redaction, which what we talked about last week. I can provide that to them this afternoon.
Perfect.
As far as a transcript that we were going to give to the jury, the only transcript at this point that has been fully corrected and ready is the June 10th interview. So that's the only one that we would intend to give to the jury, is the June 10th interview. And we have that with the corrections that we will give to defense counsel today.
Also this afternoon. Okay.
Honor. As far as the video, we would have to find the outsourcing of it when we leave here today to determine how long that will take and if we can. If we cannot, then we're prepared to move forward in the fashion that we discussed earlier.
Okay. Well, that's definitely less than ideal.
It has not gone as bad as, honestly, the playing, the pausing, the muting of the videos. The muting of the videos has not been the problem. It has been sometimes it was when we were doing the MP4 that we were advancing and it was starting and stopping because of server issues.
Okay. It's still less than ideal. So I understand you're saying I may not be able to get this together in the next 2 days, but for all of the remaining witnesses, if you can't, honestly, if you can for him, I'd rather you do it for him as well. But I'm just sure that can be done. I'm sure there is somebody out there that can splice it as needed, but have it where it is still something that can be heard and understood. So, okay. So anything else? If not, I'll just go. Y'all can do your work and I can do things like other cases or listen to the statement or things like that to get ready for next week. So, anything else today?
Your Honor, I'll file a particularized Bruton motion for Mr. Kendrick's statement.
Okay. Did you just file that today?
No, I will do it though. I have the.
Oh, you're planning to.
Yes, I have the timestamps like the court wanted.
Perfect.
I'm just trying to make sure it works, and I'll include other people here, and I'll send it to them first as a rough draft to make sure that I didn't miss anything for their clients. And then with regards to next Tuesday morning, just as a reminder, your honorable court has allowed me to, I just wanted to.
Thank you for reminding me of that. And you'd be back with us by when?
I think I'm the second case on the calendar, so 12 o'clock. 12.
Okay.
But
All
I
right.
better check though their schedule.
Okay. So, Mr. Steele had asked, and I had permitted him to, he's got an oral argument in another case before one of our appellate courts scheduled for Tuesday morning. And I had said, yes, I'll excuse you to do that since I knew we were non-jury anyway next week. So then it sounds like both Monday and Tuesday will be starting at noon instead of, or let's just say 12:30 instead of in the morning time. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So let's adjourn for the day. We'll be back at 8:45 in the morning. Y'all have lots of work to do, especially y'all on this side. All right. Thank y'all.
All right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man, and everybody for watching this. Tomorrow live stream be a lot better. They said that they're going live at 9, so that's when I'm start my live. And if y'all tune in again, I appreciate it. If you're watching this on Facebook, man, hit the follow button so you can tune in. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate y'all. You can stupid opinions. I'm gone.